get some. Okay.
All right, guys, we're live from inside the DC newsroom. Thanks for watching Fox 5 Live here. I see some of you have already jumped on. And we were starting with those aerials of the suspect's truck in yesterday's attack in New York City, which to me is still a super horrible event that I'm not desensitized to. I mean, we were talking about this earlier today that, you know, this happens too much now. This is actually, guys, the deadliest attack in New York City from terror since 9/11. Oh, wow. And it is, of course, on a much smaller scale, but it's still so serious. Car driving down, or the truck rather, this rental truck that you see here, the West Side Highway in New York City, where so many people bike day to day. I have so many friends that use that bike path, rammed into people on the bike path, later hit a school bus, multiple people injured from that, and there's so much video coming out of bystanders and passersby who snapped some video during this. And Austin, I know you were kind of jumping on and commenting with us about it, but we're gonna basically the press conference, the official press conference. All right, stations, this event we're just getting nowhere for the update from New York Police Department and the Governor Cuomo, and Bill de Blasio, Mayor, just finished, and we're gonna play that out in its entirety so you can kind of get the updates after we sort of chat a little social news with Risa. But we did post this actually today right away on our Instagram.
Yeah, right away on our Instagram, because I had clocked out after this event had already had been unraveling, so
you're right. So
we have to get to it.
Essentially, right, and a lot of interesting details have come out of this. 29-year-old suspect, Uzbekistan, Uzbeki man, and he was actually also an Uber driver,
which is what makes it scary. And we were talking about this.
This is
huge. Imagine the
people
looking on their Uber history and saying, "Oh my gosh,
I had a ride with him."
Exactly.
He apparently has given more than 1,400 rides from Uber.
Wow.
Uber, of course, came out with a statement that was stating the tragedy of the event and how horrible it was, and they were quickly reviewing him. He has since been blocked from his Uber. I'm getting some bars. App and working there, of course. But again, guys, this happened along the Hudson River near the World Trade Center, and the driver was actually on the bike path for more than a mile when this all happened. So mowing into people, and then eventually, the school bus that he rammed into, injuring 2 kids and 2 adults. I saw a video, kind of a viral video now that came out of some bystander that I just had a clip of that he was near it, and he didn't know sort of the extent of the injuries or what exactly happened, but he saw the damaged bus and he was like, "Oh my gosh, look at this!" Cops came running. So it's really interesting to see some of the videos that are coming out of this. But to me, still a huge, serious thing, an act of terror, as the mayor said yesterday, and the governor, of course, also. Solidifying that it was a lone wolf attack, this one person, and it doesn't seem to be part of a larger plot, but they're, of course, taking it seriously. They're seeing, I think the press conference, which, like I said, just ended, we're going to play that out soon, sort of revealed that there may have been some notes written and just more details to come out about the suspect. But the suspect was shot by police and then taken to the hospital. He's expected to live.
Even though he's in critical
isn't that
condition,
interesting?
Right?
So,
shot in the abdomen.
Yes, exactly. So more details hopefully to come out from there. And of course, President Trump started tweeting about it, about immigration and whatnot, and saying that it was another attack by a sick and deranged person, that we can't let ISIS return, all that stuff. So a lot of details in this story. We'll have more when we play out that press conference.
It's still unraveling too. I feel like there's so much that this press conference will probably reveal.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, everyone still has questions. Considering, New York, I feel like it's been on alert mode since 9/11. So to see this happening again, it's like, oh my gosh. And all things on Halloween. I wonder why specifically this date.
I know. It had been planned a long time.
Exactly. So like a million and one questions I feel people still have.
I think more details to be revealed from that press conference, which again we're going to play out in its entirety. But Austin, you were saying you imagine the truck to be a lot bigger. Interesting. Yeah, this is a look at it. Again, live aerials of the truck that was used, and it's a Home Depot rental truck.
Yes.
So it's smaller than some people thought. I guess.
When you say truck, you think of a little bit more bigger, a full-bodied car.
You think of the
more SUV. Well, no.
Pickup truck. It is a pickup. Yeah, it's a Home Depot pickup. Okay. You can see police still there, obviously not really touching the scene, but kind of working it.
Absolutely.
Working the finer details on it. yeah, did any of you guys follow this yesterday? And let us know what you think if you kind of saw it break. I know I first saw the New York Times kind of breaking news email, and I had also been kind of just leaving the newsroom. So things I'm sure kind of were more, there was more calamity, I think, in the newsroom later in the evening.
So. Absolutely. I got it on Twitter. You know how Twitter alerts you when there's high activity on breaking. So that's how I found out about it.
Right. Yeah, Austin says he was thinking of an 18-wheeler. I think that's what I imagined also.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
what I imagined too.
Although that, interestingly, you could say that is so conspicuous. You could say that's more, maybe they want to be smaller, doing less.
A little less under the radar.
Less under the radar. Also doing a little less damage than it could have been. Not to say this wasn't a horrible big-time attack. I mean, still, 8 people have lost their lives. And I'm always just saddened, but also very curious to see when they come out with who those people were, who the victims were. And
I think they've confirmed that, I can't confirm the number, it was 4 or 5 people from Argentina, is what I've been reading lately.
Some of them were deceased?
The victims that were deceased, 4 or 5 people from Argentina. I don't know the background story, whether they were tourists or in town for one reason or another, but that has been put out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if you guys do like a Google search, and I'm sure it's on Fox 5 DC too,
right,
you guys can have a little bit more detailed information on the victims.
Yeah, guys, we're updating, our web people are updating that story right now because, like I said, that presser just happened, so more details came out of that. Apparently, again, just the details, he was carrying a paintball and a pellet gun, so not actual guns, but then he was shot by police, and he shouted Allahu Akbar before being shot by police, underwent surgery, like you said, in critical, and is expected to survive. And I have some comments here, you guys. Austin saying it's more unsettling that he was an Uber driver. I agree. When I saw that come out, the AP released that story, or that's where I first saw it. It is so unsettling.
I feel the same.
To see that. We live in that day and age. We're in these big cities. We've been taking it for ages since it came out. I know, New York is a very cab-driven city, and there's cabs everywhere. So people kind of, I was talking to a long-time New York City dweller who I'm friends with, and she was like, cabs were just so rampant. I took cabs mostly, but then Uber was always an option. And then Trina saying she figured it was a smaller box truck or an 18-wheeler, and that the Uber driver part is disturbing. It is truly disturbing.
Is. I think so too. And my question is, what is the heat that's going to come from this for the owners of Uber? Like, what is going to happen from all of this? Are they going to have more, restrictions when it is that these people apply to be drivers? Are they going to do more thorough backgrounds? I'm going to know what the outcome is going to be from this, what Uber is going to do, because could this have been avoided? We don't know, and hopefully this presser can reveal some questions, because like I said, people have like 1,000,001. So I guess we'll see how that develops.
I was reading that for the Uber saying, quote, they're horrified by the senseless act of violence, of course, and that he did, all drivers do have to undergo a big-time background check to drive them. And I've even talked to some Uber employees whom I'm friends with, who mentioned I guess there was a scenario. What happened? Either it was there was some type of sex assault or something connected to an Uber driver in recent months. And it was a big case, and it made national news, I think. And we were chatting with it, and he was like, it's horrible, it's senseless, it's unfortunate. There's always things that can slip through the cracks, and it's scary and it's unfortunate. This, I think, even just as horrible, if not worse, 8 people dead, and you wonder, where's the line? Like, how can they do a diligent job with these background checks to make sure that their drivers aren't terrorists?
Exactly, because if he has no history of anything on his record, then how will you know? Is the question.
Iran saying, where I live, being a taxi driver requires a big FBI check. Local authorities wouldn't even let Uber operate here until similar screenings were implemented. Right. I know Uber's had these stipulations and these tough rules, which is good. And I remember when it got more serious, and they branched from a small startup to this huge company now that is doing that. And of course, background checks for Uber all over the world where there is Uber. And it's in so many cities, right? And it's international. So it's so important. But yeah, this is disconcerting, I think.
Yeah.
Very much so. And here's a shot of the truck. I think we're going to have this aerial throughout the day, so we'll be flashing over there as much as we need to. But like I said, we'll play out the presser. It just happened in New York, and any more details to come, we'll bring you that. So instead, or I guess besides that, which we posted about, hey Terrence.
Hi.
Come join us. We were talking about a couple of hot social topics to switch it up really quick, and then we'll cut back to New York. But some hot social topics
some
in the
topics,
news,
guys. So transitioning from this very, heart-wrenching incident that occurred, we have something that is heartwarming. So, like I always tell you guys, send us cool news stories or tips via Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever the case may be, and this is the power of that. So, in efforts to help out victims from the Hurricane Maria incident that occurred, there is a chef that reached out to us that I've been in contact with. His name is Enrique Velasquez. He is one of the only food truck owners in the DMV area that serves authentic Puerto Rican food. Figured you might like that. We're a major foodie right here. So him and a couple of other chefs are actually flying out to Puerto Rico in the upcoming days to serve 3 specific zones. I have it written down here for y'all. So Zone 3, Arecibo, Zone 6, Ponce, and then Zone 12, Ceiba. So what's going on here is we have all these chefs that are local, and they're basically being funded for their flight out, but then the rest, they're basically putting their money towards getting materials, getting the food, and serving an entire day in these specific towns and helping these people, helping these people who have yet to receive help, which is so unfortunate. But I feel like it's amazing that when you're blessed with these gifts, them being chefs, that they're able to give back to their community. I'm Hispanic myself, so I just round of applause to you guys that are going out. We're gonna have more information on our website. We're gonna have their GoFundMe account, which they are, trying to raise money for. So if you're able to help out, please do so. So this will be going up on the web once I have a full story developed on this, but I just think it's awesome.
Really cool.
These chefs are, collaborating together and just, doing what they can to help out in some way.
Is he himself Puerto Rican, or is he have any affiliation? I don't know.
I want to say yes, but don't know. But you know who did start this off? Chef Sammy from Republic in Tacoma Park, if you guys have ever been.
If you guys are local, Tacoma Park has an awesome, awesome restaurant. I haven't actually attended, but I have some close ties to it.
Yeah.
And you guys, I guess last year Fox 5 DC had a zip trip that included it?
Like about 2 years ago. We were around the area and we stopped by just, for our break. And from what I remember, we had oysters. Amazing. Can't go wrong with oysters, right? Yeah.
Interestingly, I was going to say, though, the Puerto Rican ties, Puerto Rico, of course, still in the news big time. Even this morning, House Democrats on Capitol Hill got together and actually spoke with the mayor of San Juan, talking about federal disaster relief and of the like. So still, obviously, hot in the news for giving them relief, helping them out.
Yes.
And this just another kind of localized example of that.
Localized efforts. And again, round of applause, guys. And they are calling themselves Chefs de Borinquen, a.k.a. Chefs of Puerto Rico. So
cool.
I think that's awesome.
Nice feel-good story for social and relevant nationally and federally also as we talk about relief for Puerto Rico. Thanks for your comments, guys. If you're just joining us, we're Fox 5 live in the DC newsroom, and it's good to have you guys on the stream, Trina and Austin. Remind me, guys, where you guys watch from, because I know some of you jump on periodically and we're curious where some of our viewers are, but we are right here in DC. We got Terrence, our IT guy, helping out. We're coming down from Halloween. In fact, was there a spider here?
Oh my God.
There was There's some remnant Halloween decoration, and let me tell you, there's candy like everywhere in the newsroom. So we're coming down from Halloween. We still got that sugar rush. We got a lot of food in this newsroom right now, but it's been a good week.
They're trying to plump us up for January.
It's the 1st of November already. It's All Saints Day, November 1st.
And no shave November.
Oh, cool, Austin, you're local, so you know some of the local references. Yeah, mostly, like I said, news-wise, guys, we got some updates as we have them of the New York terror attack. We're going to have some live cameras of just that scene as it's still being worked and investigated. We'll have the press conference that Governor Cuomo, Mayor Bill de Blasio, and the New York Police Department led just moments ago. We're going to play that out for you. T, do you have any? You got the spider.
He's got the
Do you have any other updates from IT today, or what's going on with sports?
Here, let me give you my mic. 1 second.
Sports. Well, the World Series Game 6 was yesterday.
It was crazy, guys. We're going into Game 7.
Which means free tacos, right?
No, I think it's when somebody steals a base.
Wait, I thought they were giving away free
tacos. They are giving away because last night someone stole a base.
Yes.
Oh, free tacos, everybody. We need to go. Yeah.
So, Austin, you can go to a Taco Bell in our area, I guess, from 2 to 6.
Yeah.
And get 1 free taco. If you stop there, I will be surprised because I want to see who's going to go in there and get 1.
Tacos if you guys go.
It's a great business ploy for them because is everyone going to get 1 and roll? Maybe.
I know a lot of Taco Bell fans that are definitely going to go.
Kevin McCarthy.
Kevin McCarthy for sure.
He's probably in line right now.
I know, right? What time? Like,
is he off? Yeah, I should have asked him. And then, so they're forcing Game 7 at Dodger Stadium, guys. It's the first Game 7 in this new stadium in like 57 years or whatever. So
I didn't know that.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
Little stat.
But it's one heck of a World Series.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. All 7 games. I'm going for Houston. I think Houston's gonna win it all.
Interesting.
Yeah, they've been through a lot. The hurricane, everything. I think they're gonna overcome and just win it all.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, pull through Houston. Pull through.
All right.
And my boy Zeke Elliott, he's getting suspended for sure. I think. I think they have until Friday to actually tell him what's happening, but it's just been a roller coaster.
Yep. My boy, Jimmy Garoppolo, number 10, Patriots traded to the 49ers yesterday. That was kind of big in the sports news. He had sported his San Francisco polo and spoke to the press yesterday, and I snapped a pic and put a sad face.
Also, Jay Ajayi from the Miami Dolphins went to the Eagles.
A lot of stuff happening.
Eagles are stacked now. I think they're definitely building something huge. Yeah, but it's crazy because we're in the same division. Redskins, I don't know what they're looking like these days, but yeah, pretty rough.
A little rough,
but, you know.
Guys, I will say, I'm getting some comments about the tacos. Austin not liking the Taco Bell. There are authentic tacos in DC for sure. I see some of you talking about that. So many, you got to investigate, but there's a couple places that are real authentic, you know, true family-driven spots that are just.
Let me tell you guys.
She knows the drill.
I'm going tomorrow, Thursday. Taco Bamba. If you guys have not been, you really need to make your way out. There are 2 specific locations that are definitely my favorite. The Falls Church location, and the newest one is the Springfield location. Taco Bamba is where it's at. They have the most amazing, delicious, curated tacos on the menu. You have classic tacos, and you have these special tacos prepared by the chef. You got these intricate nachos, and going back into Puerto Rico, and this is because I was there this past weekend, they're actually offering a taco made with pernil, which is a typical dish served in Puerto Rico, and all proceeds from buying this taco is going straight to Puerto Rico to help the victims out. So a lot of Puerto Rico talk, but a lot of food talk on top of that. So
Shout
a
out
lot
to
of
Puerto
good
Rico,
stuff.
man.
Shout out to Puerto Rico. No, seriously.
But guys, not to take away, of course, from the seriousness of today. As you saw in our headline, you're probably joining this stream for more coverage of New York. That is going to be our top story and our top coverage today, because both of our live streams from our national Fox station are bringing us in some aerials and a view of the street there in New York, and also the press conference that just finished up with the updates from New York. So lots more details in there. So I'm going to play that out for you guys. It just finished, and it'll provide some more details from this serious attack that I think really can't be swept by the wayside. This is such a serious thing that I think sometimes it's easy to overlook it, right? We heard about Vegas for a long time, and we're still kind of hearing about it here and there, but sometimes it gets overshadowed, and we don't want to forget that more than 500 people were injured there, 30-something dead in Vegas, and now 8 people dead, 11 injured in New York in the second most deadliest terror attack in New York since 9/11. So it's just a wild statistic.
Yeah.
I've been reading more and more about it. And if you guys are new to the stream, welcome. You can join us and subscribe to our channel if you want, with that red button that says subscribe right below the screen, because we come up on the weekdays for you guys, just doing a live show from our newsroom. You can see it behind us. Talking to some of the reporters, showing what we're kind of working on today, and then of course covering national breaking news and stories, and international at that. And then just kind of talking some social and stuff with Risa and Terrence and whoever wants to drop by the feed. So I mean, I really do. Trito Sack, sorry, thanks for correcting me. More than 50 dead in the Vegas attack. I misspoke on that. And more than 500 injured, so even worse. So we're obviously still reading about these and following it, and we're gonna bring you the updates from New York in just a second. I guess that's good for now, right, from the newsroom?
Yes, I think so. All right, guys.
Take a look at the street, guys. This is a live look at the camera that they have on the street. You can see there's the rental truck, guys, the Home Depot rental truck that was used to ram into these bicyclists.
It's a different angle there, yeah.
Different angle, exactly. We had some aerials before. Here's an aerial shot. These are live shots. And they're leaving it right there. They're doing their investigation. It's surrounded off. And I thought it was also most interesting to hear from, I guess you could say, local celebrities or politicians' children who live in Tribeca, who live near where this happened, and to see their Instagrams and their posts about how, you know, hug your kids a little closer. It's right in my neighborhood. This just happened. No one is really immune to this. This happens, and you have to be vigilant. And it's hard to really sort of answer to this.
It's really hard to plan. You can't. You know, you can't. But it's horrible.
Yeah, Iran saying there's not a lot of news, no news about Vegas. People stopped doing press conferences. Yeah, it's interesting how some of these kind of come in and out, and then we realize it's so important not to forget them and to keep them sort of in your minds and your hearts and to remember these people. And I think it's going to be the same for this one. Yeah. So with that, guys, we're going to bring you to that press conference that just happened moments ago for those updates from New York. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, guys.
We'll talk to you maybe in a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll throw it over to that press conference, guys. More updates from New York. Here is the mayor, the governor, and the New York Police Department with those details.
This way. Ladies and gentlemen, very tight room here. So we're going to start off the police commissioner. He will explain to you the run of the show. All right? And then I know you're going to have a lot of questions. We'll field the questions as best as we can, but please work with us and wait to be called on.
Well said, Steve.
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning, everyone. Regarding our joint NYPD FBI investigation into yesterday's truck terror attack on the west side of Lower Manhattan, today we're going to give you an update on some of the things we've learned overnight. You're going to get an update on the injured from FDNY Commissioner Dan Nigro. Then you'll hear from Mayor de Blasio and Governor Cuomo. And I want to thank for being here Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance, June Kim, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District in New York, Commissioner Roger Perino is here from New York State Homeland Security, and then Joe Esposito from OEM, the Commissioner of OEM is here also. I'd also like to thank the State Police for being here today and for everything they did yesterday. Chief of the Department Carlos Gomez is going to lay out some of the security plans we have in place in light of yesterday's event and ahead of Sunday's New York City Marathon. And he'll also give you an update on the traffic situation on the west side. Bill Sweeney, the Assistant Director in charge of the New York office at the FBI, will make a statement. And then John Miller, Deputy Commissioner of Intel and Counterterrorism, will share with you some of the details about the work that we're doing on this case. As you have to understand that this investigation is still in its infancy. We do not yet have all the answers. And there are details today, and there'll be more down the road, and not everything we're going to be able to share with you. You understand that? You know, in terms of casualties, this is the worst terror attack in New York City since September 11th, 2011. I want to take a minute to commend all New Yorkers. I want to commend everyone who lives in, works in, and visits our great city, because no one in this city is complacent. We saw the strength of that resolve last night with the very large crowds that attended the annual Halloween parade in the Village. And we'll see it again on Sunday, when 50,000 people compete in a marathon and another 2.5 million people cheer them along the route. The NYPD, the FBI, and all of our law enforcement and private sector partners remembers our past. And we work very, very hard together each and every day to prevent the type of thing that occurred here yesterday. What happened yesterday was not okay. It will never be something any of us will just accept as inevitable. Since 9/11, we, again along with our partners at the local, state, and federal level, have disrupted or prevented 24 plots against New York City. Countless lives have been saved. But none of that matters when 8 innocent lives are taken by a criminal committing a cowardly act, driving a rental truck. We are working hard to get to the bottom of exactly what happened yesterday and why. And we're working tirelessly to prevent anything like this from getting repeated. I tell you as often as I can that true public safety is a shared responsibility. Law enforcement, government agencies are doing what we can. And the men and women who work with us do it better than anyone, anywhere in the world. But we need everyone's help. There are more than 8.5 million people in New York City, plus all the people who commute in every day and all the tourists. That's a minimum of 17 million extra eyes and ears and gut feelings that can remain vigilant on behalf of all of us. And I talk about this all the time. If you see something out there that doesn't look right, if it makes you uncomfortable, you have an obligation to make a call or to flag down a police car. At least give us the opportunity to investigate that. I want to thank everyone for their ongoing help today and every day. And thank you again for the swift response yesterday by the NYPD officers the New York State Police, the firefighters, and EMS workers who did a really great job under the circumstances. And right now, let me introduce FDNY Commissioner Dan Nigro. Dan's going to give you an update on the injuries from yesterday. Dan?
Thank you. And I'm going to be very specific regarding the privacy of the victims. There were 20 victims to at yesterday's attack. 6 of them were pronounced dead at the scene. We transported 14 victims to 3 hospitals. 2 of those victims were pronounced. So the total number of deaths were 8. 6 of those were citizens of other countries, 5 from Argentina, 1 from Germany, 2 were Americans. Of the 12 remaining, thankfully, 3 have been released from the hospital. 9 remain in the hospital. 4 of those were critically injured, but are in stable condition. The others are seriously injured. The injuries ranged from a bilateral amputation to serious head, neck, back, and chest trauma, and trauma to arms and legs. This was a heinous attack that resulted in 8 deaths and serious injuries. Our prayers are with the families of those who died and those who remain in the hospital.
Thank you, Commissioner Nigro, and thank you to all the men and women of the FDNY, all the first responders, all the EMTs who went to the aid of those who were afflicted and did it so well. I want to start by thanking all of my colleagues. Thank you, Governor Cuomo, and all of our state partners who are here, all of our federal partners. Thank you, Congressman Jerry Nadler, for joining us. Everyone's here in common cause. This was an attack on the United States of America, an attack on New York City, an attack on our people, and it was the definition of terrorism, an effort to take away people's hope and spirit and to make them change. And what New Yorkers showed already is we will not change. We will not be cowed. We will not be thrown off by anything. And this cowardly act, targeting the most innocent people in the middle of the most innocent pursuits, was meant to make people feel they could not go about their daily lives. And what we saw last night, Governor Cuomo and I went to our annual Halloween parade, 1 million New Yorkers